Oh, and with that, I'm recording. Here we go.
Sweet.
I like that. Say that again, James. We're here to relieve.
Well, I don't know if they know what shadow work is.
Well,
but we're here to eliminate it.
Yeah.
Our podcast. Ugh.
Helping you make decisions. We're the salesmen.
No, we're more like consolidators. So my mom, she's a librarian. She just became an elementary school librarian.
Cool.
And she said that the library she adopted, the average publishing year for the book. Guess what it was, Larry?
The average
publishing year.
I don't know what that question means. The average.
So like the year that a book was published. What was the average published year for her library? The school's library.
Oh, I'm going to say the 90s, mid-90s. 90s.
Mid-90s?
Yeah.
1971.
Wow, those are some old books.
Yeah, that was the average. So she said she went to a thing and it's like a company. And what they do is they look at all the books you got and they tell you which ones are like incorrect now or outdated or like no good for certain, like they examine the damaged things or whatever. But that's kind of what we do is we go through all your books and we're like, you know what? You don't need to, we'll pick the cream of the crop for you.
I think we always do a good job of that too. And this is that program. This is Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. The podcast that is dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic. And I'm Larry.
And I'm, Lippy the Lion.
You're Super James. And that's exactly right, James. Each week we pick and read and review. And this is episode 92, by the way.
Your next favorite comic.
Your next favorite comic, a new #1. And this week we got a good one, I think.
Larry, if I'm Lippy the Lion, who are you?
I would be, I don't know any male Mike the Monkey.
Ooh, it's Hardy Har Har.
Lippy the Lion.
You know that one?
No.
It's a Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
I should be a little quicker on the up on that.
It's all right. It was a one I just heard yesterday.
Lippy the Lion.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I wonder if Larry knows about Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har.
I do. I don't know how I know about it, but I know. I know all of the Hanna-Barbera.
You know all the Hanna-Barbera.
Everybody does. It's in our DNA.
I guess I do too. I guess now all the listeners do too.
I'm looking at some great art here, but I want to get to the first page. James, what book did we read this week?
So we're talking about Superman, All-Star Superman, #1. It's the Superman.
Written by
Larry,
Grant Morrison, art by Frank.
Are you familiar with Superman? Have you read any other Superman?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot? A medium lot, though? Did you watch Smallville?
No, I didn't watch Smallville. I knew that was popular, too.
I heard it was really good. Never watched any of it.
I never watched any of it either. I knew it was, and I had friends who watched it, but I never watched it myself. No, I'm not a huge Superman fan. I think he...
Did you watch any of the movies?
Oh, I've seen all the movies. You know,
You watch all the movies?
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember...
I've maybe seen 2 of them.
I remember when I was a little kid, I had this picture book that went along with the first, I'm going to say it's the first Superman movie, the one where there were 3 villains.
Oh, yeah, where they were from extra planet. I know Superman so poorly.
Yeah, it was his planet.
Were they from Krypton, or were they from a different planet?
No, they were criminals on Krypton, and his parents...
They were like destroying all these buildings in their giant fight.
Yeah, I love that first movie. I bet you it hasn't.
I was like, I don't like either of these characters.
Oh, I like the.
Get out of here. Take your fight to a different planet.
I like the lady. I remember like she had all the different badges that she would get from the different victims that she like killed, and she wore them on her black suit.
It's a little. I don't know if I would do that.
I thought it was cool.
It'd be like Michael Phelps walking around wearing all of his gold medals.
I thought it was a cool look.
Actually, I think Michael Phelps might be able to pull it off.
Yeah, it's a cool look. So what did you think of this Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely Superman #1?
Well, should we start with the cover?
Yeah, what a great cover. What a funny cover.
He's very angelic.
It's funny. He's like sitting on a cloud with looking over his shoulder, Superman. Everybody knows what Superman looks like. But even in here, he looks, when we first meet him in the book, he's got and I think this is Frank Quitely's drawing style, but he's kind of like a oatmeal face. He's got lumpy bumpy. His chin is so big.
Yeah, his chin is too big for me. I know he's supposed to have a lantern jaw, it's like an expression, but he has more like a brick, or like it goes out further than the rest of his face.
Yeah, it's huge. But it's not abnormal. I mean, he still looks human. I mean, he still looks like a person.
Kind of. Less so than other people in this.
Right. Yeah, when we get into the people, I'm going to talk some. I'm going to really pontificate about a one Lois Lane.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a couple questions about Superman.
I hope I can answer them because, like I said, I'm going into this.
Okay. Well, and maybe there are questions that don't have answers. Sometimes I just have questions, and it's like, if I was Superman, how would I hold my arms when I'm flying?
I would fly. I would hold them just like the classic Superman. It just seems straight out. That just seems the most comfortable.
Straight out in the big T.
Yeah, or maybe crossed. How would you, James?
I think I'd either go arms straight over my head, like I'm diving, like I'm shooting like a dart, or I'd put them in my pockets.
Oh, that would be a cool look.
And just be like, and then I'd go like feet first instead of hands first.
That turns right? Superman up on it. I don't know if you can fly that way.
Almost like I'm sitting in a chair, but more like I'm lying down in like a chaise lounge.
Oh, one arm to the side, maybe. Like a kung fu kick.
Yeah, like a kung fu kick. Yeah, that's way better. Kung fu kick.
I still like the 2 fists forward. Going straight at the action.
And then his hands are pointed all the way out, like his fingers are out. Would you, like...
Oh, I would never do that. I would do fists.
I guess that's how I do it.
I think I would... Well, I don't know. Get kind of cramped up. Like you're riding a motorcycle. I love this first page. This first page gives the explanation of Superman like perfectly. Like doomed
true.
planet.
Doomed planet, desperate scientists, last hope, kindly couples. Kindly is kind of a little bit of a strange word, but I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, so Last Hope has got, you see the rock, you see the doomed planet blowing up. You see the
strangely dressed people.
And then you see this cool looking rocket leaving this doomed planet.
Sure, it's kind of regular.
It looks like a shark.
It does kind of look like a shark.
I guess it's that one little.
Oh, I like that actually. Yeah,
it's one little nugget of asteroid that's
cooler
in front
than
of
just
it.
like a regular, like better than a capsule.
Yeah. And then here we are. We're
unfold him out of his red cape.
And then we see this amazing. Now this is a goofy way to fly.
Yeah, right. I guess I went a page ahead going to this, but yeah, I was just thinking like that's not how I would fly.
Yeah,
he's doing heart, like in yoga. It's like your heart center. Lead with your heart center. That's how you're supposed to like walk and have your posture. But his heart center is like that big S on his chest. He's leading with it so much it'd be uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does look a little uncomfortable.
He's a little stiff.
Yeah,
Superman's a little stiff.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely a little stiff. But we we find Superman flying into action here at the sun. He's saving. Now, when we get into the writing here, James, did you get a little bit lost in some of this conceptual?
No, I actually I thought it was pretty good.
I
thought it like I actually even liked the pacing and felt like I was able to follow it pretty well.
Okay, because I know that Grant Morrison can kind of take you there sometimes. I mean, like,
what else have we read that's Grant Morrison?
Actually, this same writing and art team, Grant Morrison, Frank Quietly did Flex Metallo.
Oh, Flex Metallo, I liked that.
I did too. I really, really did like that book. And if you remember, last year at when we were doing our one-ies, I think Frank Quietly was my Artist of the Year.
Wow, because I don't know if I would have given him Artist of the Year on this book.
Well, I just love the way he I just love his people. I love his line.
You love his people.
Yeah,
and his lines.
He's got this like when you see like I'll point it out, but he has sort of like this like sort of it's a little sloppy, and I think it's sloppy in a good way. So anyhow,
sloppy realism.
Sloppy realism. So bring us up.
I do like the colors.
Yeah,
his colors are very strong.
Yeah. So bring us up to what's happening in this story.
All right. So Superman, he's he's on the sun, and there's this like capsule that's going to the sun, and they're like kind of grab some of the sun. I'm like, oh, this is like a metaphor. This is like Icarus, flying too close to the sun. Don't fly too close to the sun. And I guess they're like too close to the sun, and they're starting to burn up, and Superman's gonna save them. But then there's like a weird monster inside. Larry, what was that about?
Well, the monster, we later find out he's not a monster. He's he's an astronaut that is kind of a construct that's been built for this sort of deep space exploration. So the humans that are on this are also kind of evolved into, like, there's this woman who can read your thoughts and your DNA. So she's like a scientist that can do that.
That's a good ability.
And then and then the monster is, like I said, like a sort of this exploration, like they've built him so he
seems like he takes energy and like becomes stronger. Does that seem like it seems like he wants to go to the sun so he can then take that sun energy and like become an even stronger monster?
No, but I don't think he's necessarily a monster, because when we go back to
You think he's a good guy?
No, I think he's a good guy, but I think he's a good guy that's been turned by Lex Luthor, and we see him later in the book. Of course, we're going to meet Lex Luthor, but
Lex Luthor, the bad guy.
Yeah, but later on,
it's very obvious it's the bad guy.
I kind of want to skip this a little bit with Lois Lane here and get back to the satellite where they're fixing up.
Yeah, it didn't really add that much. It was just like Lois Lane's at the news desk, and where is have you heard about Superman on the sun?
Yeah, she's already writing the story that Superman's going to succeed.
Yeah, like it's pretty much just a reiteration of what we saw Superman do.
Yeah, so she knows he's going to succeed, and then there's the Daily Planet's lead story is Lex Luthor lied. He's actually working
back in the saddle again.
Yeah, he's actually doing bad stuff again, and all of this is big concept stuff. And I could never figure out exactly what Lex was doing.
Again.
What are you doing? I could never figure out what Lex was doing. He
lied. Can't you read it on the newspaper?
He lied.
Luthor lied, and then the picture of him standing very like regular profile.
Yeah, and then but what he
Do you think the Daily Planet's beautiful?
Oh, the building itself?
Yeah, like do you think that shot is really good?
Not really.